Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are in the class on how to feel comfortable in finding your way around the Bible. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Right now, we're going to start class 3, which is the layout of the Bible. Have you ever been in church and the pastor says, "Turn with me to Haggai," and you're like, "Is that a real word? Haggai, 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 Haggai. Is it over this way? Is it back this way? Where is it?" And then pretty soon you're flipping forward and you're trying to find the concordance and you're looking down, Haggai, Haggai. Oh! Well, yes, that can be very, very frustrating and stressful because the Bible is not just one book. The Bible is actually a library of 66 books with over 40 authors. It took 1,500 years to write. There are 1,189 chapters. And for all of you King James fans, that breaks down to 31,173 verses, or if you want to get really picky, 773,692 words, covering the lives of 2,930 people. So yes, this can be ever so confusing. What we want to do in this upcoming class, though, is to break down this library so that it makes sense to you, so that you will be able to find your way around. The library itself, as you can see, it's not only broken down into Old and New Testament, but you've got books on law, you've got books on history, a poetry section, sections on the prophets, major and minor. Then you've got the New Testament, Gospels, history, more letters, and prophecy. Now, this little chart that I have here, I'm actually going to put a link for this chart in down below this video so that you can download it and print it off. If you do not have a printer or you need me to print this off for you, just message me and I will print this off and mail this to you. Basically, when you look at it, you begin to look at it as sections of the Bible. What do I want to read? What's in the section? The Bible itself is divided into two parts. The Old Testament, which is everything that happened before Christ, and the New Testament, which starts with the Gospels, the birth of Jesus, and goes all the way through everything that happened after Jesus came. One interesting thing as you go through and are learning this, is the word testament itself. And here's something that is kind of interesting. Long ago, when this was in Greek, the word testament, there were two words that could mean this. They could mean syntheke, right here. And that is a covenant between two equal people, like kings, where they both have equal responsibilities to maintain their side of the covenant. Or the other word, diatheke. This was another kind of covenant that they had. Diatheke is a covenant between two people who are not equal, like a common person and a king, where the king knows going into the covenant that he is going to have to bear the greatest part of that burden. He's going to have to bear the load because the regular person does not have the same amount of resources to give. Now, when they translated from Greek into Latin, they had a problem with the translations. They're like, what word best do we have? And it came up, they translated it testamentum, which we get. When we think of testament, we think witness. And a lot of times when we think of witness, like, this is what I saw in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, this is what I saw. Witness, like you get in the court, you give your testimony. Testamentum has that meaning, witness, but testamentum also means a covenant of grace. Grace, where one party knows that they are going to have to bear the lion's share of it. So what ultimately A lot of times when we think Old Testament, New Testament, when we're dividing this up, we often think, well, this is what they saw in the olden times. This is what they saw in Jesus' times. But what it really meant this whole way through is that this, even though there's lots of books, even though there's 2 sections, that this all boils down to diatheke, one story about how God is going to take the greater responsibility for this covenant. It's going to be on his shoulders for us because he recognizes he is the greater party here, but we don't have as much power or as much resources to give, and he bears the load of the burden for us. As we are going through in learning these books, I'm hoping that you will feel not only comfortable in finding your way around the Bible by the time we're through, but that you will also learn to see this not as a bunch of books or as 2 testaments, but as one whole picture where God starts the story here and he finishes up the story here, and it all is all one story of grace showing God's love for you. So until next time, we'll see you then.